Okay, this is a update to those seedlings that I started a couple weeks back, and also some things I'm planting outdoors now. Well, this was about a little bit over a week ago, week and a half ago. You can see all the seedlings really did germinate good. I wound up buying some of these plastic dome lids to put on them because that other plastic, once they started growing, I had to remove it and they were drying out too fast. So I found these on Amazon and they worked pretty good. And you can see those heat mats really, I can't believe how fast everything germinated in, the germination rate. So I do have an awful lot of extras here, but everything germinated but those two banana pepper plants there. And those seeds were like 6 years old, so I, really didn't expect it. But now that, everything's up, you can see these Amish paste tomatoes, they were the first things up. They were up in like 2 days, and, look how big they are now. But time to go back and pull out the, any of the weaker looking plants and stuff and get each of these little pots down to the strongest plant, which hopefully will give me the best results. It usually does. And as I said before, just to make up for seed germination and old seeds and stuff, I like to put extra in. But this heat mat really did make a big difference. Definitely would recommend one. So it looks like, I'm going to have everything that I planted. So just got to go back through and do the thinning. And there's what they, what they look like. Those are one in each pot now, pretty much. So. And I did have quite a mess of small seedlings, but they'll go in the compost pile and be food for next year's garden. Now let's go look over in the lettuce tent, and this was a week and a half ago, and you can see the lettuce is about at the end. It's all starting to dry out on the edges and stuff, so that's about ready to come out, and kale and Swiss chard's going to go outside soon. And here's some lettuce. I have been picking through it to get what's left that's good, but it's getting near the end now. But it's really been enjoyable. And there's my onions. They're doing good, ready to go outside. And I give up growing sweet potatoes. Second year of total failure again. All these potatoes, I put them in the dirt and put them on a heat pad like everybody said to do. And these are my own potatoes that I saved from last year. And each and every one of them looks like they started rotting and nothing. Absolutely zero growth on any of them. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I give up on sweet potatoes, and I thought I'd have my own slip, so I didn't order any this year, so I'm probably going to be sweet potato-less. And then I had to go over and pick up some plants. I ordered some bare root trees from our soil and water tree sale. And they came in, and you get them in a plastic or a paper bag that's got a plastic lining in it, and they're just bare root plants. They're really dirt cheap, unbelievable. And they offer it to all the county residents. So you order them about 6 weeks in advance. They come in and you run down and pick them up. And I did order 10 elderberry bushes to replace the ones that died from the drought 2 years ago. And also trying 2 raspberry bushes. So I'm going to plant them first. And I just unwrap them, and I'm going to stick them in a bucket of water there to get the roots going. I'm going to put them in this little bed here by the front door temporarily so I can keep an eye on them. And I thought I'd show you my wife's flowers there. The spring bulbs are up, and these things have taken a beating, being covered with snow and 20-degree temperatures and 40-degree winds, and I can't believe that they've survived this long. They've been around there for about a week and a half. And I did get some of the spring lettuce planted there in this upper bed. And that kale I put out, and the next day we got a 40-mile-an-hour wind all day long, so that doesn't look too good. And the 2 Chicago fig plants, I put them in a bed down here for their final resting place. So I'll see how they do down there. They didn't do anything in those pots, so we'll see. Now I'm turning over this bed, and this is where I had those ground cherries a couple of years ago, and I'm still digging roots out, constantly. It's just full of these ground cherry roots yet. So I figured I'd put these here temporarily to watch them get started, and then I'll move them down by the garden next year probably. A bare root, as you can see, no dirt on the root. They just kind of dig them up and wrap them in wet paper. And I'm just going to stick them in the ground there, and I'll be sure to keep them watered for the next couple of weeks till they start to develop some, some good roots. I'll put the two of them in there side by side, just a couple stakes to tie them to keep from blowing over. And a couple of bags of mulch I had, I'm just going to spread around here and cover that in a little bit, make it look a little better. So I got them planted in there, and then I had to go over, and the edging around our brick was all falling over, and I had to pull that all out and reset all that, so I got that all nice and square again. And now here we are the next day, and I'm going to plant the elderberries. You can see they're same thing, bare root plants. And I'm still using the wife's golf cart, because up to this point, it's been 14 months since I ordered that Sidekick, and, it hadn't arrived yet. So, that's still getting a good workout. Only thing is, you can't get too close to the garden because of the mud. So I'm down here digging some holes in the garden. These are going to be actually used as a windbreak also for the garden. So I figured I'd put them across the top of the garden there where the wind always comes from. And you can see I had put those pear trees the next couple rows up too to act as a windbreak. So we'll see how it all grows in a couple years. So the same thing, just going to take these bare root plants and just dig some holes and, get them down there and make sure you just get the dirt even with the crown where they were dug up from. And I'm just putting them about 3.5 foot apart because I want to, keep them tight. And they're going to go back once they're all in and give them a trimming down to hopefully get the roots going on them. So it didn't take long. You can't really see them because they're just sticks in the ground. But there's 10 of them in there, and hopefully they'll be growing. And there's pear trees that seem to be doing pretty good. Now let's walk over in the garden, and this was about a week ago, and you can see I hadn't really gotten everything mulched over last fall before the rain started and stuff. But the garlic had just started coming up here, and it's looking pretty good. Now it's time to get the roller out. The ground is still really moist, and a lot of rocks pop up from the frost in the winter. So that roller holds like 100 gallons of water. I fill that up, and I'll go over the lawn twice with it. And that usually gets it, till the rocks are back down and it's fairly flat again. That does take a little while, but you can see with a 4-foot wide roller, it does go. It's not too bad. That's just another one of those spring chores that you have to get done. Otherwise, you'll be hitting a lot of rocks with the mower once you get going. And there it is after being rolled twice. And you can see it looks pretty nice right now with all the stripes on it and stuff. And my Sidekick finally did arrive. I can't believe it. 14 months waiting, and I finally got it. And I've got it loaded up with all my tools, and you can see I'm taking the onions down today to plant them. So here we are today. The garlic's looking pretty good. It's up pretty good. Next bin there is the shallots, and they still haven't come up. I planted them about a week ago, but no sign of them. And there's the onions I put in today. So hopefully we're going to get some rain tonight, and they'll get a good start. And I'm starting to get these other beds cleaned up and getting some peas in along the fence there and stuff. So, it'll take me a while, but, it's really going to be nice having this Sidekick to help out around the yard now and getting a lot of use out of it. So let's go back up, and you can see the parsley's up from last year. There's a Swiss chard and kale from the grow tent. And here's the other lettuce just starting to germinate now. And I'll take a walk back down in the grow tent, and you can see the peppers are all doing really good. The tomatoes are, getting really big. And I did move some of the stuff to the other tent. I'll show you in a second. You can see flowers are forming on the tomatoes already. So the timing was just about right this year. And here's a couple of more tomatoes. I put in bigger pots, and the eggplants I moved to large. I can't believe these eggplants. These are a squad eggplant that I'm trying this year. And they are just giants. So I just thought I'd do a quick update showing you, what's going on, and, that I'm still kicking here and, trying to get out and get started this spring and get the garden going. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.